So finally, we are live. It took a little bit longer with some, technical issues, but we are here. And let's start directly into the stream, which was very, very surprisingly. So, just for your understanding, today there were two big things coming up on the stock market, all right? First thing was that we awaited the unemployed numbers and those came out, but at the same time the federal bank in US just announced the financial bazooka. I will show it to you. So the federal rolls out 2.3 trillion dollars to the main street. And what does it mean? This is basically, just another financial bazooka that came up there. And totally surprisingly, people are estimating that they saw the unemployed numbers and then they thought, man, this maybe creates some turnaround on turmoils on the stock market and actually will give us, a couple of bad news. But, let's jump into the market with a little bit of, let me just know in the comments if the audio is fine and the stream quality is fine and everything. We should have about 13 people watching. Let me just know also, please, if the audio and the video is sync. Okay, so this was a problem yesterday. Today I had some issues, so we started a little bit later. But let me know if the audio and video is synced and there's no lag in between. Yeah. Hi, all good, quality good. Okay, perfect, fantastic. So after we jumped into the Federal Reserve bazooka, I have to tell you a funny story. So I was preparing this stream and I was looking for the unemployed numbers and a screenshot that I will show you this. It should be here. Let me have a look. No, this is OPEC. Here. So I was watching for this news in all these turmoils, So and I just couldn't find it. So there was the Fed news, there was the oil news, there was news about the market going up, but 6.6 million unemployed US Americans, you cannot find this on the main homepage. So, However, so let's dive first of all into the markets. When I go right in, so we have a very interesting day so far. By the way, I said this yesterday. Let's jump into the Dow. Okay, so you should see my screen now, and the Dow is up about 1%. In the beginning of the day, we went really big and up, obviously during the Fed news, and then it was an up and down, and then approximately here we had another positive vibe because of the oil news, which we come in a second. And then I said this yesterday already in the stream. I suspect that towards the end of the day, usually because tomorrow is not a trading day, people will get all the gains or some of the gains off the table. Obviously, towards the long weekend, people don't want to wait for what happens on the weekend in such unsustainable times. So if you're looking here, exactly what I said yesterday would happen, and we lost from the highs here at about 24,000. Went down, and we are somewhere hovering around just 1% plus. I traded a bit just today in terms of, I think I bought basically, I think it was somewhere here. I bought a small short because I thought, okay, the risk to go more up is relatively low, and the risk or the reward therefore to go down and towards the weekend is quite interesting. And then came the oil news, and it was not so much impacting. It went out that I should wait a little bit more to buy the short a little bit later here. But in the end of the day, I purchased a little bit more here, and then took here downturn, went up down out of this trade with about 5-6-8%, which was totally fine. So very interesting week. One more time into the whole week, as you can see, here from the 3rd of April until here 11%. So you see, as my opinion about that, I believe that's an bear market rally, which means very much positivity is already into the market. And this is today, okay, I just want to clarify the situation. People are asked will be asked in a couple of days, once everything cools down, right, to go to work, and the employer obviously will do whatever he can to protect you, but you will go to work, and then you will go back to your family, and maybe your elderly in your family, because you contract the virus in the work environment, goes back, and then you infect all elderly people. They will die, and we did everything what we could, right? So this is a very, very hard decision that the government needs to make in the next couple of weeks and days. I believe there will be more downturn. I could be wrong. But I feel the market, with its current valuation, do not reflect at all what is going on Main Street, right? But let's dive in two more graphics that I want to show you. This was another news towards, I think, noon Eastern time, where we had approximately 12% gain in the oil, because there was news that Saudi Arabia and Russia reported to reach a deal that could take 20 million barrels cut during every single day. Moreover, there was a little bit of correction, because then more data came out and so on, and people are corrected it to about 10 barrels per day, which is half of it, and therefore the oil also gave up in the end of the trade most of its gains. We still waiting for news out of this, but I think this is people price this in, and this is another uncertainty that is going away from the market. So it's good in the end of the day. And then let's come to the, let's say, bad news. Obviously, 6.6 million jobless claims in addition this week. So let me have a look into your questions right now, because some people were complaining that I don't read the questions. But I was first of all, I was quite new to everything. So first of all, I had to find where are those questions. but in the end of the day, let's have a look. So what are your thoughts on Amazon Q1? I think Amazon is one of those companies that you buy anytime. All right, so I think, and this is something that actually I can show you here something very amazing. Let me just pull it up. Google Trends. If you go to Google Trends, you can search, for example, for Amazon, right? And once you search for Amazon, you see what are the trends during people searching in the internet for Amazon, which means that Amazon obviously get a lot of traffic, they do a lot of sales, and especially around holiday times here are those peaks, or Christmas time obviously are those peaks. But look at this peak, which is, if you're going here on the 5-year chart, then you see how big this spike is, and it's pretty much the same like Amazon would have holidays, right? So this means that they made a lot of cash, because who want to go now to the grocery store and risk your life, maybe, right? So I would say no. And therefore, you can really assume that the overall Q1 will be totally crashing the expectation, and therefore, I'm also considering to position maybe a small trade, just a little bit with higher risk, obviously, before the earnings, because in the end of the day, if you're looking to the earnings, first of all, the first couple of weeks comes always the banks, which could have a bad earnings, and then more and more companies show their earnings, and if those are bad, then maybe the expectation for earnings getting lower, and then comes Amazon and totally show the rocket, and therefore maybe this is a trade idea. Audio and stream are good, quality is good, both are sync, that's great. What else? This is a couple of days ago, in a week. I heard you talking about oil industry, but I'm a little confused. I just started investing last week, so because they are cutting oil supply, does they usually means no. So Daryl, to your question, the question is that why the stocks are going up when the oil is going up. Now, there's a very special correlation between oil and stocks. First of all, usually if you think about oil, or cheap oil is very good for the economy, right? Because when we have cheap oil, we can more travel, or the travel costs go down. We are we have more money to spend because we are spending less for gasoline. So in the end of the day, low prices are good, but on the other side, uncertainty or volatility, big spikes up and down, are very much uncertain for the market. And one thing that the stock market don't like at all is uncertainty, and especially in timings like crash plus oil market uncertainty is obviously creating this chaos, and therefore the people are also very afraid that if this oil price goes too much down, too much industries die out, because oil is in the end one of the most important commodities, and if companies depend on oil, then especially if the US, Texas, Dallas, this kind of area is really depending on higher oil prices, and the Republican senators are pushing Trump, to help to stabilize the oil price as well, and this is why it's so important to have this uncertainty go away when Russia and Saudi is doing a deal. What might happen when the Saudi war ends in Yemen in regards to oil? I mean, in the end of the day, this will definitely give less demand for the oil, I don't think that this region or this particular confrontation is consuming that much oil. However, I believe that the over you have to imagine the most oil consumption is through us driving cars, through us transporting things, to us travel, and so on. All this demand is totally low. So that's why I'm very curious. I'm so curious how long this temporary oil price spike will go up, because in the end of the day we will really see no demand, or and I think Putin actually said this in one of his interviews or press releases. He said, oil war, yes, no, deal, yes or no, but don't forget we are having a demand crash, and this is the one of the very difficult part of this crisis, that we don't know how it developed. We don't know how is the effect on the economy when the demand is going to break down, and also the supply, because in the end of the day, which I said already now to the 10 times, is it's important that we have both, or at least one side balanced, because if we had a couple of things like the tsunamis in Thailand, we had the 9/11 attack in New York, and all these things lead to demand reduction, right? The financial crisis, the demand for everything was deducted, but we still went from time to time to a restaurant. We still stayed from time to time to another country, or traveled, or stayed in a hotel. All these things are totally shut down, and this is the whole let's say problem about this all. Who can estimate what can happen in this kind of environment? Nobody, because this situation is totally unprecedented, and therefore I believe that this is just the first wave, and that's why I'm still on the sidelines and watching and enjoying going up and down and up and down. I hope this was a long explanation for the oil and stocks. Salsa 2. I want to start a position in Beyond Meat. Do you think the current price is a good entry point? Do you think sales will suffer this year, or will grocery sales make up for lost restaurant sales? Yeah, I think I don't remember what was the correlation. I think it was 60-40 restaurant and sales centers, or in this case grocery stores. But definitely restaurant sale will go to zero. So think about that 40 or 60% will go down very much. I hope that grocery store can balance that a bit. I heard from few peoples that when everything was bought out in grocery stores, the only thing that was still in the grocery shelves was Beyond Meat, which normally is not a good sign. But however, I still believe Beyond Meat is a great company, great balance sheet, great product. I tried it by myself, and also I showed it to a friend, and this friend just went and said, hey, where can I buy it? So even though I'm not like a vegan or I love meat, but this Beyond Meat burger patty was amazing. So the product is amazing. The founder has a great vision. He wants to make this as one of the biggest food companies worldwide. And this, if your investment horizon is long term over the next couple of years, then obviously I think it's always great to buy this low prices, and therefore but I cannot time the market. Maybe next next weeks will be even better to dive into the stock. So nobody can tell you that, not even me, not anybody, and who can is obviously lying, because even Warren Buffett cannot time the market when is the best or worst time to invest. Daddy 45. What would be also super interesting, guys, if you just post where you watching from, because now we are in Dubai. We are just before midnight, quarter to midnight here in Dubai. And I would love to hear from you guys where you are watching from. So, Daddy45, I'm new to investing. I'm a little bit confused on how holding a stock for years can make you tons of money. Since many companies only rise around 300 to 500 share price in a 5-year span. Okay, so this means well, you just have to, or you have to have a lot of them, right? Well, yeah, this is number one. Obviously, the economics of big numbers. If you have 300 stocks, each $100 or somehow. And the end of the day, if you're looking into average gains you can expect from the stock market, if you're investing into an index, for example, S&P 500, between minus 20 to plus 30. Last year we had plus 30. This year will be super interesting. Mostly it will be negative, but it's in the end of the day, if the company makes good business and good numbers, then the stock price will eventually follow. This is not a quote from me. I think Warren Buffett said this. So, but it's a great quote. UK, Derek King, nice. LA, yeah, LA is amazing. What was there's a super interesting restaurant on the hill, on the top of the hill, a Japanese restaurant, famous because they shoot a couple of movies there as well. Really nice restaurant there, Los Angeles. US, UK as well. Watching from LA. Okay, so 2 guys from LA. Really nice. Let me know what you guys would like to know. I think these are the first live streams I'm super much enjoying, because you can really dive into topics, you can communicate with users, we can talk about things, but just before the market close, I would like to go with you guys into the market. So let me have a look. Scotland, also nice. Never been to Scotland though. But let's see. Okay, so good that I sold my short here, because it's going back up. So I try to make this bigger, but unfortunately my computer don't let me do it bigger. However, you see that when we started the stream about a couple of minutes ago, we were at about 103 or 104, I remember, and then now we are a little bit higher, but still a little bit away from the highs, about the percentage point, and I'm very curious if we follow this trend line back up, or we lose a little bit in the closing of the market. Again, guys, if you didn't listen yesterday, tomorrow is not a trading day. I don't know even why. I think there's some holidays or something. Let me have a look. Stock market holidays 2020. What is tomorrow? 10th of Friday. Good Friday. What is Good Friday, guys? Can someone from the US explain what's a Good Friday? What is a Good Friday, guys? Okay, apparently the let me have a look if Google knows is Good Friday. Good Friday. Good Friday is of course. Okay, okay. I didn't know the English word for Good Friday, obviously. Yeah. So tomorrow is not the trading day, and therefore, I thought, and as you can see here, towards the closing of the trading day, it's a bit of of a selling. And I believe that next week will be super interesting because now we had those good news and big news over. So Fed came out with a new statement. We had the unemployment numbers, and we had the oil deal. So I think over the next couple of hours we will know about what the oil deal will have in specifics agreed on between those OPEC countries, and we will know what other news, how the how the uh, what I was going to say. We will know how the oil price. um, yeah. So we will know details about the oil price. We will know how the cases of the health situation. This is very important, guys. How this further develops. We are in a good way, but are obviously not. We are at the beginning of flatten the curve, especially in the US. Okay. Um, I want to see, is there new questions? Mazovia, nice. Mazovia, District County, Poland. I bought oil ETF for all my money I had. Hope it will go up, and it might be only a matter of time. Well, I think it's very, very interesting that you put all your money inside one trade. This is obviously super, super dangerous. But I wish you luck. It's. I would say it's not the most stupidest thing, obviously, because it can now we can have some stabilization, and I guess your ETF got a little bit positive out by today. But in the end of the day, it's a very risky thing to put all your money into one trade. Yeah, this is very, very dangerous. JJ, what stock price is ideal for Tesla in your perspective? Now, in one of my videos, I talked about that I think the stock price of Tesla this year will have a fair value, or a value that I would say, hey, that's a good value for Tesla stock, was at $750 per share. Now, this was connected to a couple of assumptions, right? Because you say, okay, this is the price, and the assumption were 500,000 cars this year delivered and sold. Obviously, China going forward, Germany going forward. So there's very much things that push the stabilization of Tesla stock at about 750. Now, what we currently seeing is quarter one is a little bit affected, and I want to see the numbers for it. And then I want to see when they are reopened, for how long and how stable this can be, because now the current rumor is 4th of May. So in about months they should open, but they lost 1 whole month on production of cars. And then we have to also consider, it's not that all parts are in storage. There may be some missing parts because some suppliers are still on lockdown. There is maybe some complications, they need to hire force, so maybe they will lose a whole quarter. And what is the price of Tesla stock then? This is the big question, though. You apparently would watching my videos, because in the end of the day, it's really I posted a lot about Tesla. I said in the summer when the stock was at 178, I said, guys, this company will be the future of of cars and autonomous driving. And I was quite right with going from $178 to $968. But in the end of the day, what is the value of all the companies? I mean, I just posted a video today. You should definitely watch it if you are interested how the market value is at this point, because we are, from a value perspective, PE ratio to stocks at the highest point that we had mid of February. So this is quite shocking to me that the market can go still up. So at one point, S&P 500 at 2,800, at 2,900, 3,000. I definitely see that people are or will also start to take profits away, and especially going into the earnings season. So next week will be super interesting. Tesla will go down to 380. Now we were at 350 just recently, so this will be quite interesting. In my opinion, fossil fuel era is ending. Tesla and electric is the future. Electric vehicles adoption will follow an S-curve like smartphones. I totally agree. And the interesting part always on Wall Street is the information arbitrage, which says that maybe by the observation of the market, the overall market, how everything goes in which direction, how things will develop. So a very, very good point here. Gasoline powered car sales will approach zero by the end of the decade. Maybe you're right. Those are obviously bold statements, because we are so intrigued by gasoline cars. But let me show you a picture. I showed this in one of my vlogs. 100 cars, New York. Let me see if I find this picture. It was quite amusing because it showed. Here it is. Can I put this in? Open a new tab. So here it is. I hope I can show it to you properly. Okay, so this is Easter morning in 1900, Fifth Avenue on New York. Spot the automobile. So this is a picture taken about 120 years ago, and all of these vehicles on the streets are actually horses with wagons attached, right? So you see here that actually a lot of wagons are here with horses attached, and there's one, it's a little bit pixeled, but you see one car is here, and from all these hundreds of horses, one car is spotted. Now 13 years later, same street, Fifth Avenue in New York, spot the horse. Now, as you can see, I think it was here somewhere. Here's the only horse powered wagon, and rest of it is all automobiles. So it took 13 years from horse to automobile, and therefore never underestimate how things can go very fast, right? And then maybe you are right. Maybe in a couple of years, end of the decade, there will be zero in gasoline-powered cars, and this technological movement is sometimes really underestimated by us humans. It happened the same with mobile phone. People never thought it will be so fast to adapt to mobile phone. So really interesting. There was, I think there was a couple of researchers that had to make a research for, I think, Verizon when the mobile market just started, and they Verizon paid a lot of money, I think, to PwC to make a market research. Hey, what do you think how the mobile market will develop in the next couple of years? And what happened was that actually they said, you know, by, I think it was in a matter of 3 years, you will have 500,000 abonnements or people or clients, right, for these mobile packages. And it turned out that we had about 3 million. So even the best guess by the market researchers were totally wrong for such big companies, right? So sometimes we underestimate how technology will go fast, and also consider that things like this, events like the current crisis, will lead into the push of digitalization, push of new companies, push of new interesting new ways of living, right? So yeah, however, let me see if I have another comments. YouTube is quite slow right now. Yeah, it's showing me the stream is a bit lagging, whatever this means. I think we are always also through. So energy dance for their car getting to breakfast. They need to buy factories. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, guys. I see you tomorrow, and don't forget to watch my today's vlog, and tomorrow's vlog will be about the superhero stocks, and obviously I will come back with a stream and then on time without technical issues. So I see you tomorrow.